and then something to eat and drink. Why do we have inside light and outside light? This was a question for me because the body has the light inside, the energy. The face has the light from the outside.
Well, I mean, I think it's our life, no? It's like that. Inside emotions, but outside realities. Energy, it's a long, long list of the, let's say, the sense that we can attribute to our soul. Mm-hmm. But sometimes could be positive or negative. Mm-hmm. We have both in our nature. And
I thought you are always good, so...
Yeah, sometimes.
Let's have a look to the next one. Wenn Sie Fragen haben, einfach zuschlagen, ist klar, einfach dazwischen gehen. Und Sekundärfarben sagen wir, oder aus verschiedenen Farben, die aber sicher die Wahrnehmung bedeuten. Eine Liege, die Jaume in Frankfurt gefunden hat, auf dem Sperrmüll, als ein Arzt sein Ambulatorium ausgeräumt hat, und dann die Klänge, die im Raum sind, Urklänge, gute, schwierige, angstbesetzte oder liebevolle Klänge, also Wasser, Nahrung oder Wolf, Angst, Jaume. I told only the three elements of the word, the light.
The most primary concept that housing our body. And it's the sound of pigs that we recorded the pigs just before we killed it. And as you know, they have an amazing intuition. It was owned by a doctor working in Frankfurt, and probably already. And I'm convinced that it's keeping amazing, and for me it's like one word. I mean, could be plenty of interpretations, as much interpretations as people was lying on. And it's surrounded with those lights, which are the three primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, plus white, which for me is a wish. White is always a wish, purity. And well, it's a piece. It seems complex, but it's very simple because it tries to be a portrait of our human nature. Because I'm a gay writer, and that's how
about the human rights. Why are the letters so heavy? Why you made it as a curtain? And why to walk through?
I was a child always going to the stores with my mother, and at least in the south, all the stores had a curtain in the entrance made with metal pieces to avoid flies and other insects to go in. I liked this idea of protection. And I started to work with poetry in my curtains, poetry as a protection of our life. In that case, the piece is called Look Out. And it's a wonderful German word, the declaration of human rights. If you read carefully that text, you will see that it's completely poetry, because we don't do nothing right down in that.
I like very much, and if you see people on the other side, it's the body, and then to the words. If you see no one, if you see the work, it changes in every detail. That's why it's beautiful. So, we have here inside Cell, shower. So these cells are more or less a nucleus of perception?
Yeah, probably. They are still containers as always, and also with the size of one. Yeah. Well, as you can see, they are made with bricks, like we are doing houses, but with transparent bricks. I think our bodies build up similar with brick cells, with small elements making a more complex object. And that is the same. Also the dialogue between two, it's with colors. Colors are something similar as words. They have meanings and they are changing. Sometimes they agree, sometimes they disagree. And in each door, as you can see, is etched one text, which is the Song of Songs. And I don't know if you know that text, but it's a text from the Old Bible. And it's probably one of the most erotic bodies constructed by words, by letters, as cells, which is incomplete. It's always in progress, it's a work in progress. And together face it with that morphing of different alphabets. Everything is coming from that idea. Our blood speaks the same language. It's this idea that all human beings have the same idiom, the same language. But culturally, we create borders, we create walls, we create problems to be together. And that is a certain, well, it's a, let's say, romantic room, I think, the idealistic room.
I like very much the two exhibitions of Cecily and you, because we have full life in the paintings and here meditation was about life. So it's a beautiful bridge.
Yeah, because she's a painter, I'm a sculptor. I think it's very interesting because
I'm not sure if it's a good word. The bodies all over the centuries have been in bronze or in stone or in wood. And if you look to all these sculptures, besides Arp and Gerstl and others, they are all dark. You don't see the erotic. To have perhaps the possibility to show one or two works here, and we decided for this great repainting and this one. Cecily, what do you think?
Well, now I'm crazy about this room. I love seeing these paintings among the sculptures. It would never have been something that I'd think of, partly because, you know, I always very interested in the dialogue between one painting to the next. I like the paintings to, you know, contradict each other. I like the sort of thing of going from one work to the next, and it's another way in which I like to, you know, keep questioning where the viewer stands in relation to the thing. But this, I think this room's kind of insane in a really good way. It's just so unexpected. I think, I mean, it's great for me, of course, it's always great to be able to see your work with a lot of space, a lot of distance. And then I think I'm very excited about it. You know, we changed these sculptures a little bit. This especially, I like I like looking from the painting back to the sculptures and seeing the relationship.
I see now, I worked a long time about sculpture, and they are in some kind dead, not would I know the surface, I know the transform. Runter und dann kommen wir wieder hoch und gehen ganz hinten durch. Bis zu den Zeit. We start now. Cecily, come back and go to the left. Okay. Mixing. Ein Rundgang, du sagst eben was, wir machen das kürzer natürlich. Ich hab's ja nur so stehen. Of a person, and then more figurative and more abstract in a sense.
Be some kind of argument or contradiction or paradox, but also between each painting, just so it's not a comfortable space necessarily, but just that it constantly, so you can't just look at a painting and say, oh, I see what's going on. I like, for example, I like this wall very much because the paintings are all quite different, and yet I think they really add to one another. I like, I love the view from upstairs. I like it as you slowly walk around. You have different combinations of works together.
I like very much these three too, because you see the body, white, red. You see some birds, you think, and then you understand there are some penises. The one object becomes another. You see a face or a skull, and if you come nearer, really, in a sense, you have to look at a painting. Then you see little children. On the left, two people, man and woman. Formation in these paintings, what I really like, it's Goya inside, it's 19th century, it's something else which comes out into your paintings. So history, but in a totally imaginary world, perhaps. Yeah.
No, it's that thing of just when I said, not meaning to be rude, but it's not describing. It's just this thing of I always wanted to make an equivalent for the thing, like even if it's about flesh or about sky or a tree or a bed, that not to think how does that thing look, but how do you make in paint a new a stand-in for it, something instead, not to try and list its qualities, but to how do you say it in paint in a new way, hopefully a new way, which of course is almost impossible. But how do you do something fresh?
Und das ist eigentlich das Schöne. Der zweite Raum hier noch, und dann gehen wir wieder hoch. Was ich sagte, auch mit dem Blick, der Blick von oben, ergibt wiederum ganz andere Perspektiven auf die Werke. Abstrakt informellen Landschaft oder Vorstellung. Im hinteren Bild, was wunderschön ist, mit auch wieder Fleischfarben, kommen plötzlich irgendwelche Elemente, Leitern, andere Teile hervor. Oder auf der anderen Seite, wenn man die beiden roten Werke sieht, sie gehören zusammen und doch konkretisiert sich hier etwas, was hier schon wieder aufgelöst wird. Es ist immer ein Aufbau und gleichzeitige Zerstörung von Bildwelten in between. Jaume's word is beautiful, is art something in between. Here is painting between many polarities.
Yeah, I like the idea of something at the moment of becoming, Or
yeah, you said before, a way to something and not a concrete, yeah.
Sorry, I'm repeating myself already.
No, it's good to understand.
Yeah. After sort of 6 months, then it changed completely in 2 days, and then that was it. So it's the only one I've done.
Yeah.
It's the only one like that. This is it's called wood. I kind of think of subject too clear, so sometimes I'm not really sure how much to say. It was like a young girl in the woods. And there's a stalker, I don't know how you say in German, like she's being watched or followed.
Stalker.
Stalker,
yeah.
So it nearly was called Stalker. The same, the painting of a girl on a swing, it was nearly called Stalker. I always have there's almost always a voyeuristic element, an extra, it's almost as if the picture isn't complete till somebody's watching it, not just the viewer, but there'll always be some sort of depiction of, I want an extra presence there, the feeling of something else, the feeling of someone else watching. So that's what I was thinking, but I left it, it's very ambiguous.
I have, because of the different colors, very slight colors, bluish, grey, a little brown, but everything is in movement. I have a feeling of nature, not only a thinking of nature. This is what I really like in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
But I hope people will look at it properly, not just from here.
So we go upstairs. Jaume, part 2.